Today, August 23rd, is the feast of Saint Rose of Lima. She was a Peruvian Dominican tertiary. So she was from Peru, and the tertiary means that she is of the third order of Saint Dominic. She was a mystic and the first person born in the Americas to be canonized a saint. She was born in 1586 as Isabel Flores de Oliva in Lima, Peru. She was known from childhood for her deep love of Christ and desire to live a life devoted entirely to God. Rose was exceptionally beautiful, but she wanted to avoid becoming a focus of attention. So she reportedly cut her hair short and rubbed pepper on her face to discourage suitors. Despite pressure from her family to marry, she chose a life of prayer, penance, and service to the poor. She became a third order Dominican following the spiritual example of St. Catherine of Siena. Rose spent much of her life caring for the sick and poor, sometimes turning part of her family's home into a place where people could receive care. There are many interesting facts about St. Rose. One is that her name wasn't originally Rose. She was baptized Isabel, but her mother reportedly saw a miraculous rose appear on the baby's face and began calling her Rose. The name eventually became official. Rose sometimes wore a hidden crown with sharp points beneath her veil as a form of penance to unite herself with Christ's passion. This is why she's often depicted holding roses or wearing a crown of roses. She was inspired by Saint Catherine of Siena. Rose admired Catherine so much that she became a Dominican tertiary and tried to imitate her prayer and dedication to the poor. Rose cared for the sick. She opened a small infirmary in her home and cared particularly for poor people, including those suffering from serious illnesses. Rose reported visions of Christ and the Blessed Virgin Mary and experienced periods of profound mystical prayer. She had a special devotion to the Eucharist and often spent long periods in prayer before the Blessed Sacrament. She was the first saint canonized from the Americas. Pope Clement X canonized her in 1671, just 54 years after her death. She is the patron saint of Peru and the Americas. She's also patroness of gardeners and florists. Despite living a life of intense prayer and penance, Rose's spirituality was also centered on love of neighbor. She once wrote that we should not consider suffering for Christ to be enough if we are unwilling to love and serve others. St. Rose of Lima's life reminds us that holiness isn't necessarily found in doing extraordinary things. It can be found in offering ordinary life, suffering, prayer, and acts of charity completely to God. St. Rose of Lima, pray for us. God bless you.